to speak briefly about something that most of us have been experiencing in bits and pieces if you read the papers, but perhaps if you put together the full picture of what's been happening to Israel's relations with the world at large, our place in the international community, you would actually come to see that the last few months have been little short of revolutionary. In any case, they were very dramatic. And they were dramatic in more or less the opposite sense than what you would actually expect if you read the vitriolic anti-government Israeli media or much of the international media on the subject. You get the impression that Israel is increasingly isolated, surrounded by the hounds of the BDS movement and about to be torn apart. Not a bit of it. Not that I'm trying to, in any way, diminish the importance of the fight against BDS. And nevertheless, even more impressive against that background is the fact that Israel has been enjoying a remarkable streak of international achievements. There was a great visit here. Then, more recently, within the span of weeks, really, you had the Prime Minister being the only non-African invited to the ECOWAS, that's the Economic Organization of West African Countries, summit in Liberia. The Moroccan king was also invited. He said, if Netanyahu will be there, I cannot attend. They said, don't attend. Then comes, and something to which I attach great importance, the tripartite summit in Thessaloniki, in Salonika, in Greece. Now, that's not the first, it's not the second, it's the third tripartite meeting of Prime Minister Netanyahu, President Anastasiades of Cyprus, and Prime Minister Tsipras of Greece. And so the tripartite summit was not just a standalone event. It was the third time it happened. It is basically signaling that the Eastern Mediterranean strategic bloc is emerging. This was followed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Israel. This is the Prime Minister of the largest democracy in the world, by most predictions by next decade, the largest nation in the world, population-wise. A dynamic, ambitious man who's trying to transform his country and whose clear message is, on every item of my multicolored agenda of transformation, if it's energy, clean energy, agriculture, milk culture, whatever, wherever I go, Israel is a necessary partner for me. And of course, for Israel, India is an ally of tremendous importance. Then came, that's not the end of the list, then came the visit to France, in which President Macron, to the dismay, to my amazement, to the dismay of certain Israeli hard cases, Macron, the president, the newly elected president of France, the hope of Europe, of the center-left leadership of Europe, gives a speech in which he basically says anti-Zionism is a form of anti-Semitism. That's an amazingly clear, unambiguous statement from a man who represents the future, not the past. We are doing very important business with a number of other countries in the region. We have, I think, a good relationship with practically every ASEAN country except one, Malaysia, and a covert relationship with Indonesia. But we are certainly very close to other members of ASEAN. And what's happening between us and Vietnam nowadays is a pretty remarkable relationship as well, the same with the Philippines. And I could go on. Those who come to Israel's door this is my third point, no longer have to choose between Israel and her Arab neighbors. Once upon a time, there's the working assumption, particularly for many in East Asia, for example, was that if you befriend Israel, you lose the Arabs. There was once a brother of President Jimmy Carter who said, there are a hell of a lot more Arabians than there are Jews, and that was the end of the calculus for many. Well, this is no longer relevant. The dichotomy is as dead as the dodo. Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates are today completely on the same side in everything that really matters to the three countries. For example, our main enemy, Iran, is their enemy, their mortal enemy, and our mortal enemy. In fact, right now, it is the Saudis and United Arab Emirates soldiers who are fighting and dying against Iranian proxies in Yemen. So we are now very close together. Add to this the largest, most important Arabic-speaking country, Egypt, which is increasingly, by the way, woven into the economic web of interest that includes also Greece, Cyprus, and Italy, and Israel, because of our common interest in the gas exploitation in the Eastern Mediterranean. So Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, even, if I may say so, the security guys on the Palestinian side, we are all on the same side in the same war against the Islamist dangers, Iran, Daesh, IS, the Muslim Brotherhood movements, the influence of Erdogan in Turkey. Israel is part of a new combination of forces. So nobody now has to choose between us and the Saudis, because the Saudis almost openly say we have other priorities.